and welcome to another episode of 3-Minute Histology with Jamie Chapman. Today we're going to be looking at the ano-rectal junction, so the junction between the rectum of the large intestine and the anal canal. So let's start our 3 minutes. So even at this low magnification, we can see this quite dramatic change in mucosal structure. So we're moving sort of in opposite to what we saw with the cardioesophageal junction, where we went from a stratified squamous non-keratinized to a simple columnar. We're going in the opposite direction. So we're going from a simple columnar lining of the rectum here, and then we've got the stratified squamous non-keratinized, and eventually that'll become keratinized as we move out to the anal skin. Some of the other big features which we can see here are the numerous veins associated with the anal canal within the submucosa here. We know that there are some pathological conditions relating to some of these, and you can end up with things like hemorrhoids, for example, and these are abnormal veins within the anal canal. The other big feature here is if we have a look at this inner circular layer of the tunica muscularis, you can see it starts off relatively small but then increases into this large thick layer here. This is actually the internal anal sphincter. So this is a thickening of this layer of the smooth muscle. So if we zoom in, we can actually see that this is smooth muscle. It looks a little bit like skeletal muscle from the lower mag, but we can see very typical sort of centrally located nuclei, which is typical of smooth muscle. So this is the internal anal sphincter, which obviously we don't have conscious control over, but helps to regulate defecation most of the time. So if we have a look here, we've got these large blood vessels, so we've got some thin-walled veins, and if we go up to the mucosa, we can actually see this quite dramatic change in epithelial structure. So we've got our simple straight tubular glands associated with the large intestine, lots of goblet cells here. They've been stained quite basophilic, so they must be quite acidic mucus protecting here, and then we've got our stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. So this junction between the simple columnar epithelial lining of the rectum and the stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium of the anal canal, it would be seen macroscopically as what's referred to as the pectinate line. So it's a little division between the simple columnar rectum and the stratified squamous line, which you can actually see at the gross level, and this is of course the microscopic evidence of that. You can see that the muscularis mucosa is quite disrupted. It's not a sort of a typical band here, so we can see some smooth muscle here. And those are the major key features of the junction between the rectum and the anal canal. I hope you found that useful.